The attic air was thick with dust and secrets. Cobwebs clung to every surface like ghostly shrouds. The only light came from a small dusty window, casting long, eerie shadows across the room. The protagonist, a young woman named Lily, cautiously made her way through the cluttered space, her heart pounding in her chest. She had always been drawn to her grandmother's attic, with its musty smell and forgotten treasures. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the past whispered through the floorboards. But today, there was a palpable tension in the air, a sense of anticipation that sent shivers down her spine. As she rummaged through a dusty trunk, her fingers brushed against something cold and metallic. She reached in and pulled out a small, ornately carved wooden box. It was locked, and attached to the lid was a faded note, yellowed with age. Curious, Lily carefully pried open the note and read the faded inscription. "To my descendant on this day, 1 century hence, unlock the secrets within." Her eyes widened in astonishment as she realized that the date mentioned on the note was today's date. Lily's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The attic seemed to press in on her, the silence broken only by the sound of her own breathing. She ran her fingers over the intricate carvings on the box, feeling a strange connection to the past. The lock was old and rusty, but after several attempts, she managed to pry it open. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lay a single yellowed photograph and a letter, its ink faded and spidery. She carefully lifted the photograph, her breath catching in her throat. The image staring back at her was like looking into a mirror. It was a young woman who looked exactly like her eyes, her smile, even the tiny mole on her left cheek. The only difference was the clothing and the hairstyle, which were clearly from another era. Trembling, Lily picked up the letter and began to read. The elegant script spoke of a love that transcended time, of a promise made and a destiny fulfilled. It spoke of a 100-year cycle, and of a return that was preordained. As Lily read the last words of the letter, a cold shiver ran down her spine. The attic, which had always held a sense of mystery, now seemed filled with an almost tangible presence. It was as if the woman in the photograph, her doppelganger from the past, was somehow present in the room with her. She looked again at the photo, her mind awhirl with questions. Who was this woman, and what was the meaning of the cryptic message in the letter? What did it mean about a 100-year return? She felt a strange connection to this woman from the past, a sense of kinship that she couldn't explain. Lily's mind raced as she tried to make sense of it all. The attic seemed to close in on her, the air thick with unspoken words and forgotten memories. She felt a presence, a whisper of something beyond her understanding. The scent of lavender, faint and sweet, drifted through the air, a scent she associated with her grandmother. Suddenly a sound broke the silence, a soft thud from the far corner of the attic. Lily froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She slowly turned towards the sound, her eyes wide with fear. The attic was plunged into an eerie silence once more. Lily strained her ears, listening for any sign of movement. Her heart pounded in her chest, her breath catching in her throat. The musty air seemed to crackle with tension. She slowly rose to her feet, her gaze sweeping the shadowy corners of the attic. The only light came from the small window, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and twist in the dimness. Lily's hand trembled as she reached for her phone, her fingers fumbling to unlock the screen. As she turned to make her way back down the stairs, she heard it again, the distinct sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, coming from the far end of the attic. Her blood ran cold. She was sure she was alone in the house. Who could be up here? Taking a deep breath, Lily forced herself to turn and face the darkness. She held her phone up like a talisman, the dim light doing little to pierce the gloom. The footsteps stopped. Silence descended once more, heavy and absolute.